that, and then also having somebody to talk to and to vent to on the days that you just feel like you can't keep it in is something really good that you should really have. It can be your best friend, it can be your parents, it can be your nursing school friends, because they understand as well. Just have somebody to vent to, because you're gonna need it. Like, there are gonna be teachers that are gonna piss you off, grades that are gonna piss you off, exams that are gonna stress you out, and you can't keep that all inside, or else you just can't. Like, you can't. So I think that, yeah.
I 100% agree. Like, especially with the faith part. Like, I don't know how I forgot that, but that was really a big part for me in the spring semester too, because I was like I just can't go through this again and then not.
Oh yeah.
And not have some sort of source that I'm getting, like, strength from, because it literally, it will drain you. Like, nursing school would drain you. And, like, I know some people aren't religious, and, like, there's other ways, like, you may find that strength. Maybe that strength is coming from your family, or a really close friend, or, you may be spiritual, just not religious. Like, just find that place where maybe you need to, like, go somewhere and, like, meditate for a little bit and, like, just kind of gain something back from where, like, you're just being pulled from. Because, like, sorry, that was the set thing that scared me. But yeah, just finding something to fuel you back in, because, like, nursing takes a lot.
But one time, this is very weird. It's not weird, but I was just going through a lot this year, especially second semester. Girl, yes. Your laugh is just extra. Yo, I actually choked on that. And we back. So, yeah.
As far as balancing your workload, you need to know which classes you need to put a little bit extra into, or spend a little bit extra time. Like, for me, one of those... Whoa!
I'm so sorry.
Oh my god.
I should have told you it was coming, but it wouldn't. Sorry, keep going.
I thought you were laughing. I was like, damn.
I'm sick, y'all.
For me, pharmacology, that was a class I knew I was like, I need to spend a minimum of a certain amount of hours, versus, like, maternity. Maternity was super easy for me.
Oh, really?
Like, I had...
Wait, OB?
Yeah.
That's the same thing? Okay.
OB, maternity. I had no problem with maternity. It was super easy for me. I mean, everyone has, like, experiences with, like, teaching styles and whatever, but like, the material, like, that wasn't an issue. But for pharm, like, that's something I knew I was like, I want to get a good grade in this class. I want to prove it to myself. So I'm going to put in this many hours per week. So you just have to prioritize as far as your workload. That way you're not stressed out when you spend all this time on something that you, like, already kind of knew, and then you get to this harder subject and you're like, oh, I don't know anything, and there's a test tomorrow.
Yeah. I would, y'all, like I said, your syllabi is your best friend. Don't get your syllabus, look at it, and be like, okay, cool. Don't look at your planner one time during the whole semester and then think you're going to be okay. Get the stuff that you can get done early, like written assignments and stuff like that. Get it done and out the way, because you don't need stress. You don't need to be stressing over it for anything, especially when you have only 4 exams. Like, my med-surg class was ridiculous because you basically, no, it was patho. You only had 4 exams and a paper, I think, and, like, that's basically it. And so if you mess up on the first exam, you need to tighten things up and do better on the last 3. But yeah, if you know you have big assignments due that you can like start a little bit each day goes a long way. If y'all didn't realize it, you realize it now. Like, a little bit. You don't have to wait till the last moment to get something done. So that's my advice, because, like, that's something that I was doing, and from firsthand experience, it's not, like, it's just stressful. Yeah. It's so stressful, and, like, I couldn't even complain about it because I did it to myself. So when people were like, oh, my sister would always ask, when did you know about this, this project? And I'd be like, since the beginning of the year. Silence. So, yeah, I would say, like, plan that joint out early and get it done.
Teachers are not going to cut you any slack, because the reality of it is like, as nurses, like, there is no such thing as, like, you're going to be in charge of lives. Like, you literally have lives in your hands. So those excuses literally mean nothing. So, yeah, it'll get you in check for sure.
Yeah. Okay, and then, so Ashley, in terms of studying, specifically just studying, like, what would you have to say to people in terms of, like, how you studied, when you studied and all that?
So for me, well, first off, I think it's really important for you to assess like what kind of learner you are and what environment you learn best in. So like there's some people that are really good at studying on their own, and they can focus, and like they're very proactive, and they're productive, and they just get a lot of things done. I'm not one of those people.
Okay.
I'm not.
Okay.
So like I'm pretty sure I have attention deficit. Like I literally could see a fly go across the room and lose attention for an hour. Like literally anything can draw me away from nursing stuff. Like anything.
Yeah. It'd be the smallest things. It'd be the smallest stuff. Like,
and like, so for me, sometimes, not all the time, but most of the time, I need a study group to kind of keep me centered and keep me focused. And also, you also need to know what kind of learner you are, as far as I think there's like visual learner, there's like auditory,
there's
tactile, which is like touching things, and I'm a visual and an auditory. So the way, like, a lot of my study groups, especially for like my farm class, like we would like write on boards, and like we would have one person writing, and then I would be the one telling them all like the drug and the side effects and the contraindications, like all that kind of stuff. And that's what helped me learn, because it's like I'm visually seeing it written there, and like I don't have like photographic memory, or is it
photographic memory.
Okay, somebody I'll tell you later.
Okay.
But like sometimes I can visualize things if I remember seeing it long enough. So seeing it, and then I remember hearing it, and then like we can have a conversation about it, and I remember things based on story. So if I remember the situation when we were studying it and we were talking about it, then I can remember it on the test. So that really works for me. The only like trouble you get into sometimes, like when like my study group, where it's like all of my friends, and sometimes you can get a little distracted. So you have to know when to cut it off. Like sometimes we would be like, okay, we're all gonna go our separate ways for 2 hours, study on our own, then we're gonna regroup and come back. And I feel like that's the way to do it if you're a group studier. Because sometimes, literally, I kid you not, I sat in the library for maybe 8 hours and was only productive for maybe 2 of them.
Jeez.
And it's not all the time, but it's just like, it's just like some of those days you're just not feeling
Before you realize it, like the day goes by and you're like, I only did 2 chapters. Like, you're just like, what? But yeah. But I'm the opposite. Like, I can't really focus no matter, even if I know, look, okay. The only way I can do group study is if I like am on top of whatever it is we're studying, and so like the way I'm utilizing it is by teaching others who didn't really understand the topic. But besides that, I can do group study. I usually study by myself, and I think I'm a visual learner. I got to see things and moving. Like I remember we were doing, which unit was it? I think it was endocrine or something like that. And like I had to watch so many videos on YouTube, like Khan Academy videos and stuff like that, to be able to really picture what they're talking about. So I'm a visual learner, so I would really utilize YouTube videos. And then I bought a whiteboard, and that was my best friend. Like I was in my basement just drawing out like what do you call those things? What's this thing? Intestines. Yeah. And like breaking it up and like labeling each part. Like that's the only way I can really understand and like remember it. And another thing is that like I won't remember anything until I repeat it a good like 3-4 times, and not just in a day, but like let's say I learn a new topic on Monday of this week. I will go over it again on Monday when I get home from lecture, Wednesday and Friday, for example, and then again like during the next week, let's say Tuesday, and like I just need to go over it plenty of times for me to be able to actually for it to stick in my head. And I think that just goes to the point of starting early. Whenever you learn a new topic, don't just say like, oh, okay, I got it, and then like put it off till it's time to study for the exam. Like just like I said, a little goes a long way. So studying something just for like an hour each day is really helpful. So that's what I did.
Just as far as like the group study thing, make sure that it's really important that you're not going to group study to, it's gonna sound weird, but to learn. You need to
master
read, and you need to like really need to read. I'm really bad at this, but like read your textbook. Like you really need to read your stuff and learn it for yourself. before you get into a group, because otherwise, depending on like the level of the other people in your study group, you may get left behind on some of the content and be like really confused. And they can help you somewhat, but you have to be responsible for that on your own.
Also, textbooks. That's gonna be a whole nother video, but I bought textbooks thinking I was gonna read them, and to be honest, it's like a reference. Like I will say this. Most of the exams I took for, like, let's say, like, Patho, for example, I think was mostly from the slides. Like, the lecture slides are your best friend. Don't sit there and spend 2-3 hours trying to read the textbook, because you got to be smart about the way you study. So you can't sit there and spend 2-3 hours reading the textbook word for word. Like, you're only going to retain so much. Like, if it's, like, down to the last week before an exam, study them slides, y'all. Like, I'm not even gonna lie to you, because at least for my classes, it was mostly like exams from the slides, what like stuff she would put in the slides. And like if you study slides carefully, some teachers like color codes things, like they would highlight really important stuff in red or bold things or underline things, and that's kind of the stuff that they would end up testing you on. So I can do another video about that, but just make sure you're being wise about what you're spending your time studying. If it's the textbook, if you think that really does help you, by all means use it. But for me, I learned that the hard way, like past the middle of the semester, that this lady was testing us on stuff from the slides and not the textbook. So yeah, I was rapping. All right, guys. All right, so I think that we made some good points. Nursing school, what I can say is individual. It's going to be different for each person. There's going to be some things that you go through as a group, or like you can really identify with some people in some sense, but like you got to know what works best for you. At the end of the day, you got to do trial and error. You're not going to know right off the bat what works best for you. So you can take our advice and try it, and then tailor your study habits and your way of living to your need. But yeah, I mean, last things to say.
No, I mean, just like take into consideration everything we said as far as nursing school, but like Nicole said, it's an individual experience, and you just try your best, because it's hard.
Yeah,
it's hard.
And let me just let y'all know, y'all got this.
Got this.
It's gonna be hard, but you got this. And there are gonna be times where you really like talk yourself down, and like stuff is not looking like it's gonna work out.
Yeah, like you feel defeated.
You're gonna feel defeated. You're gonna feel stupid. You're gonna feel like you're not getting things. You're gonna be comparing yourself to other people. But at the end of the day,
it will all work out.
It will all work out. You know, if you find out nursing isn't for you, I mean, like through like clinicals and stuff, then that's fine. But just push through. You got this. You are strong. You are smart. You are a hard worker. So just keep pushing.
Got this, and don't be afraid to say you need help. Like, I'm one of those people, like, I'm stubborn and I don't really like to ask for help, but I need it sometimes. Sometimes you need to email your professor and be like, look, I'm struggling. Everybody else seems to be
not
doing
struggling.
fine.
I'm struggling.
And like my test scores reflect that, and yes, I may pass the class, but that's not enough for me. So do something about it, you know. tell your professor, do something about it, because I'm stressed. And honestly, some of them, you know, may be a little less likely to help, but most of them really are willing.
I will say, introduce yourself to your teacher the first day of class, and continue to build a relationship with your teacher, your professor, because they can pull through sometimes, y'all. Like, and if they know that you are really trying and you're really trying your hardest and putting your all into the class, like they try and make things work for you. Some of them. But establish that relationship with your professor, because that's key.
But they'll be more willing to like help you out with things and
give you stuff that like work for other students, so they will like recommend that for you as well.
Yeah, you'd be surprised. You just never know like what kind of resources you have access to until you just open your mouth and say something. So, yep.
There's so much we can say, y'all. We'll save that for another video. Yes. But thank you so much for watching. Thank you, Ashley, for agreeing to do this video with me.
Get yourself a best friend in the same profession,
okay.
too.
Yeah. There'll be times I'll call her on FaceTime like, Ashley! Like, y'all. get yourself, well, I mean, if you, whatever. But yeah, thank you so much for watching the video. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Share this video to other nursing students who might need to hear this or see this. And yeah, see you.
Bye.